to the chase. We're to sense the thrill, Ben and John are here and think time stand still. Diving deep where others just pretend. Mankind's on this journey, chasing descent. Chasing descent, when truth's the quest. Ben and John won't give it a rest. In a maze of facts they find a way, bringing the dawn of a clearer day. They laugh, they grow, they take no signs through rabbit holes. They take their strides with wit and banter they haven't said. Ben and John chase the descent. So hit subscribe, don't be content. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Ben and John, no time is misspent. On the trail with chasing descent. So hit subscribe, don't be content. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Ben and John, no time is misspent. On the trail with chasing descent. They laugh, they grow, they choose the quest. Ben and John where choose the quest. They laugh, they grow, they take no signs through rabbit holes. They take their stride. They laugh, they grow, they take no signs through rabbit holes. They take their strides. With wit and banter they haven't said. Ben and John chasing descent. So hit subscribe, don't be content. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Ben and John, no time is misspent. On the trail with chasing descent. Descent. So hit subscribe, don't be content. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Ben and John, no time is misspent. On the trail with chasing descent.
And good evening, all. Welcome. Good afternoon if you're watching it back. Good morning. Good day if you're in Australia. Anyway, excuse the terrible Australian accent. It's all hotting up, isn't it? It's all getting all very, very election-y now. You can feel it in your bones, can't you? There's been a lot of nonsense talk today on both sides of the Atlantic, I would say, from the UK local election here. Are we the 51st state of the US? Probably. And what's all kicking off over there as well, with the lefties in a complete meltdown, but we'll go into that in a minute. I'll give you a brief update on the news. We've quite a lot of news to catch up on. It's good evening to the chat room. Beats and Tapes, Dreadeye, Julie, Mark Andrew Chapman, nice to see you, sir. Frankie, hi. Who else we got? I haven't seen Shalini yet, but there we go. Right, so let's crack on. Farage. They seem to be having to, they seem to be trying to have a go at him, to disparage him, to make him less attractive to the voters, but I don't think it's working, because not only are the Conservatives still swaying towards him, but it appears Labour are as well now. So there seems to be a movement of the Labour vote in the polls, admittedly, and you've got to accept that everything that we're going to give you is just speculation now and short-term polling. It's never going to be terribly accurate. But there's a big swing towards Farage or the Reform Party from both sides of the campus now. So it is looking very much like a vote for Tory would be a wasted vote. So if you are going to vote, it's up to you who you vote for. But voting for the Tories at this point in time may mean that you're actually going to not even be voting for the opposition, because the way things are going, and if it keeps swinging, there's a good chance that Reform could grab the opposition. Hey, it's an off chance, but there is a chance. I think the hatred for the Tories has got to the point that even Tories hate Tories. It's just Sunak's just ineffectual. When you actually listen to him and you see him on TV, he actually does come across quite well, and I don't like the man at all. So please don't castigate me for saying that. But I really don't like the man at all. But he does come across quite well, and he gets his points over. But he's still he's just a wetty. And then Starmer's even worse. When you see Starmer on TV, he's even worse than he looks when you see him without talking. Starmer's just, how can anyone be instilled with anything by listening to Starmer? It'd be like getting beaten with a wet wipe. It's like, why would you? I don't get Starmer at all, and I don't think he's a good leader. And there are probably people in the Labour Party that could be better, but I don't know who they are. But I'm sure there are. Anyway, some polls are showing that Reform could get as much as 20% of the vote or something like that, which would put them well ahead of a 15% Conservatives. So if you put both of them together, they're not far away from Labour. So you've got to, I think Labour's sitting about 39% just now, which is a landslide. And it all depends how many people come out. But if we look at France, they've come out in their droves to vote, didn't they? I mean, the biggest turnout in the last 40 years in France. To put Marine Le Pen into the number one seat for for stage 2, which occurs on Sunday. So they have another vote on Sunday, and it's expected that Le Pen will win. Whether it probably won't be a clear majority though, so then there'll be negotiations and working behind the scenes to find out who's actually going to be, in charge. But I would say the NF party have got or NR, whatever you want to call them, National Rally. I think they've got a pretty good chance of being right up there. Anyway, back to Farage, and as I said, the mainstream media seem to be trying to run him down. The papers are giving it tonka. But then it turns out that guy in question time, the first question that Fiona Bruce threw at Farage from the audience was fielded by that, the guy sitting back with the cotton shirt open at the neck and the waistcoat, the unbuttoned waistcoat on. Shall we say, healthily robust, i.e. fat, and had grown his hair out like a middle-aged Lothario. He was indeed a BBC producer. A BBC producer gets the first question at random. Yeah. That worked, didn't it? Wow. And then it turned out that the BBC had paid the audience to be there as well. Huh? So, yeah, I think I don't think it's representative of the average Joe public. And you could see that from the questions anyway. The questions were all targeted against Farage. And I don't understand where this far right thing comes from, because yes, he's anti-immigration, but everybody's anti-immigration in this election. Labour say they're going to slow down immigration. Nobody's going to, as far as it goes at the moment, nobody's saying open door policy. Maybe the Greens, but, oh, Carla, bless her. She's got a lot to learn. But everybody's anti immigration. So being anti immigration in vast numbers doesn't make you far right. And then people move their hands when they're talking, and it's like, oh my God, he's just got the same gestures as the Austrian painter. He wears a double-breasted blazer. He must be a bad man. My God, a double-breasted blazer? Good grief, you could just see the Nazi oozing out of him. I mean, the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is, I know Farage is stirring up a lot of resentment and a lot of support. Well, why are people targeting one man so much? Because by actually targeting him, you're probably making the fence sitters go, oh, and if they've got half a brain, they'll be sitting there like us going, if they're so against them, maybe he's got something right, So, well, let's face it, can he do any worse than either of the other two parties who've had a first crack at the whip for centuries now, and always seem to manage to bring a country down before they get ousted? It's very cyclical, isn't it? Government just doesn't work. It just doesn't work because you go up and down like a yo-yo. You might as well be on a roller coaster ride, because that's exactly what it is. Life is a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you get stuck. Anyway, let's have a quick dip into the chat and see if anyone has got any questions for us. Hi Emma, nice to see you. No questions? Nope. Evening. Right, okay, cracking on. Another journalist stirring it at the Reform meeting or rally or whatever you call it was Femi, wasn't he? And he's trying to purport that he get flung out because he's black. And I don't think that's the case. I think it's just because the fact that Femi is just universally hated by most people. And I use that term in the nicest possible way. Nobody really likes the guy because he's got a very unfortunate attitude and he's always trying to stir things up. And you just know that if you allowed him into a private event where admission is controlled and at the discretion of the organisers, then you just know that he would cause some kind of disruption. So why bother having it there in the first place? Because then you'd have to remove him while he's causing disruption and it would look even worse. So just nip it in the bud, and I think it was a sensible choice not to allow him in. I mean, he'll complain and say it's racist, but it's not. This is not about colour. This is just an event, and it's because he's a known instigator of trouble. And he's done it. He's done it numerous times in the past. It's not hard to pick up that he has this reputation. So yeah, nip it in the bud and don't allow him in. I can see no problem with that. Other than that, I can't see why the left are having such a meltdown just now, because nothing's set in stone and it still looks like Starmer's going to have a commanding lead when it comes to the polls. Now, things may change, and, just in case they do, Ben and I will be here from 10 o'clock on Thursday evening, following it with bated breath, and hopefully we'll be able to give you some entertainment while we're doing so. Before that, we will have possibly a truncated rabbit hole, maybe just the start of a burrow, if you will. But Ed and I will give you a little teaser of something, some esoteric or alien or cryptid or something. We were talking about it today, and we were talking about grok, or as I'd like to call it, twat, because it's only got a single purpose and it's not even very good at that. Anyway, where are we now? Let's move on. So the polls for Labour are now at the lowest than they have been for the last 2 years. And that's quite interesting because those voters are not going to the Tories, they're not going to the Conservatives, they're going to Reform. I, I don't think they're going to the Liberals either. I think they are going to Reform. I think that's what's happening. So, will Reform be the opposition party? Possibly. I think it's an outside bet. It's an outside bet. I still pretty much think the Tories might scrape it. Then again, it could be a whitewash for them, and then Reform then become the new Conservative Party. Because I think if British politics has taught us absolutely anything in the last 100 or so years, there is no place for a third party in British politics as it stands right now. And that's probably as a result of the first past the post system and the continued old boy network that we have. Because let's face it, all these guys know each other. They're all friends. They all drink around the same. They'll drink at the same bar in the House of Commons, the same subsidised bar. They eat at the same subsidised restaurant. I mean, we're paying through the nose for these guys. Right, let's move on. Let's move on. And let's move on to America because they're having a meltdown as well. The lefties have all gone nuts. Because the Supreme Court ruled that, yeah, Trump may well have some presidential immunity from any acts that he committed while in the execution of his presidential duty. Right? So if he inadvertently did something illegal in the execution of his presidential duty, the president is effectively immune. Now, people are saying that the Supreme Court have changed the law here. I don't think they have. What they've done is they're applying the law, and they've actually sent the case back to a lower court for them to work out if he was on his presidential duty, what he did do, and what is and isn't covered. So they've basically said, yeah, the statute says there's immunity, there is an immunity there in certain circumstances, and then said to the lower court, go figure out if that applies or not. That's not the same as what all the lefties are saying. This is going to be. This gives the president free rein to do anything. It's a dictatorship. That's nonsense. Nobody's saying that, and it's like everybody's just taking everything and running with it. The hyperbole is extreme, and extreme hyperbole. How more hyperbolic can you get? It's just it's incredible that people behave like this and get so wound up. It's all quite good from a person like myself who just sits back on the sidelines and goes, that's just ridiculous. It's just crazy. That's quite funny. So yeah, that's what's happening in America right now. And obviously they're now going on a kind of break because, pardon me, they'll be off. It's the 4th of July on Thursday, or election day, their holiday, their independence holiday. So they'll be on a break. You probably won't see them back until about the 9th of July now. So you won't have as much, I don't think you'll have as much information from the States and as much news. I did see one thing today that was incredible, and the mainstream media were going, we can't show that, we can't show that. We have seen a horrible, disturbing video that's so disgusting that we're actually unable to show you what the video is. And there was like 5 or 6 channels all said the same thing. And you notice that in America, the channels all say exactly the same thing. Somebody writes a script and it seems to go to all the different channels and they all say the same thing. And it's not even like a franchised channel. It's like all the channels say exactly the same thing, which is quite strange. But anyway, they went on and on about this and wouldn't show us the clip. And then the clip turns out to be a truck running along the highway with flags on it. And somebody's photoshopped Biden in a truck bed, bound and gagged, and put it across the tailgate. It's not Biden in the back of a truck, and nobody in their right mind would think that Biden was in the back of a truck, bound and gagged. I thought it was quite humorous. It's not disturbing, it's not funny, Sorry, it is funny, and it's not something that you would stop people from seeing. So the lefty media are just they're losing it. Oh, right. So apparently Nigel will be on the pier at Clacton tomorrow at 6 p.m. if you're in the neighbourhood. It's a bit far from me, but if any of you guys want to go down and have a look, hey, not give us a shout. We'll get you in on the phone or on live stream, and we can live stream it if you want to go there. Right. Next, France. So France Antifa seem to team up with the left because Marine Le Pen is again extreme right, the far right. So that's a bad thing. So Antifa have now started burning places down and having riots and fighting with the police because of the Democratic vote voting for Le Pen. Now, I'm not I'm not a student of politics by any stretch of the imagination. I observe and I comment, but I'm not an in-depth student of politics. But to me, what Antifa are doing sounds a bit fascist. Does it not? Oh, um, Jay Slater. So the police have called off the search as far as they're concerned. Some YouTuber guy who's into mountains, I think, has and is out there searching. Apparently, only 5 people turned up to search for him, um, and none of his family. So I'm hearing that his mother managed to withdraw 35 grand. So I'd like to know where that money is. Um, but apart from that, about 5 people turned up to search for him, none of his family. The police have given up the search. As far as they're concerned, there's no evidence of criminal wrongdoing in this case. So they're still treating it as a missing person. And obviously, as missing persons go, the longer you leave it, the more likely they are to be found in a less than optimum condition, shall we say. So this guy, the YouTuber who's out there searching the mountain, suggests that we give the Scottish Mountain Rescue a phone and maybe start a GoFundMe and get some of them out here to search the mountain. Yeah, okay, that sounds great. Yeah. Why? We don't even have that big of mountains. I mean, yes, they are they are treacherous mountains and they do kill quite a few people every year. Or I'll rephrase that. People die on the mountains, normally from their own stupidity, going out ill equipped, not having enough clothing, not taking water, continuing to walk when the weather closes in because the clouds can come down very quickly over the mountains and you can't see, 3 feet in front of you. So don't walk off a cliff. If you can't see, stop walking. And you might have to wait for a while, but it's sensibles. And that's why you need plenty of equipment and the right equipment, proper waterproofs, possibly even a bivvy or a tent, just in case you do get caught. But people do this year in, year out, get caught out and die. And that's not a good thing. But they still keep doing it. So I would urge you, if you're ever considering going hiking in the Scottish mountains, this is not a hike up to Snowdonia. There is no restaurant on the top. There is no gift shop. There's nothing but a pile of rocks and a little book for you to write your name in. That's it. That's it. That's all that's there. And it can get cold up there because it's, what, 4,500 feet above the sea level. So, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. And if the clouds come in, you can easily get lost and take the wrong path. If you take the wrong path, you can tumble. You don't want to do that. And that's just Ben Demis, and that's not a particularly arduous one. Some of the rest are worse. Not as high, but worse. So treat the mountains with respect. But I can't I can't see the Scottish Mountain Rescue Team being any better than the Spanish Mountain Rescue Team. I mean, the Spanish have got Alps, and they're substantially taller than Scottish mountains. So if they were if the police thought they'd done that bad a job, wouldn't they call in their own mountain rescue teams to search it? But hey, who am I? Who am I to I don't know. Who am I? Joe, who am I? Right. Um, so this Russian chap that's been going around visiting Kim and Xi and he went to Vietnam as well. So it appears I think they might be trying to form a military alliance amongst the BRICS countries, a kind of Eurasian bloc pact. I'm using Soviet style terms here just because we used to have the Warsaw Pact, and I can still remember it because it wasn't that long ago. So it might be that maybe maybe he's going to try and form this kind of military pact as well as a trading bloc, and push the Americans even further out because the Americans obviously have quite a strong foothold in Asia with I think 58 bases in Japan. I think it's 58. Plus, they've just opened Subic Bay again, haven't they, in Indonesia and Singapore? Singapore? But yeah, they're opening up. Oh no, sorry, Philippines. Philippines. Subic Bay. I think it was Subic Bay that they've reopened. But anyway, they're opening up Navy bases in the Philippines. The, the, they're just putting their aura in again, aren't they? And I think if the Eurasian countries come up with a military pact to rival what is only America out there, technically, although no doubt the UK would be dragged along, and of course Australia would have to be brought up, from the southern hemisphere to put their neb in as well. So there you go. So that's what's happening in the global politics of the day. There's no word on any kind of ceasefire in that other conflict, and no word of any kind of ceasefire in the conflict in the Middle East. So it doesn't look like there's been much movement there. I think what's likely to happen now is the Yanks will kind of take a back seat and try and keep it quiet until after November, so as they know who's in charge. And then if it's Trump, they can just dump it in his lap and go, "Here, fix that," right? Or if it's them, then they can decide what they're going to do. Either way, I'm not sure it'll wait till November because I think the patience of Mr. Putin seems to have been expiring. Oh, are the Kenya riots again today? Yeah, I didn't see them, but I did show a picture of the police the other day with their 40-inch TV. Obviously, they're going to take that back to the station and use it to observe the riots. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, Africa's. I mean, Ed doesn't like me saying it, but Africa is one of the most corrupt countries I've ever had the displeasure of dealing with. Um, I was working for let's just say, a major oil company, and when we were sending routers out, IT equipment out to Africa to their branches out there, we had to send three to each office in the hope that one would get through. That's how bad it is. It's just the cost of doing business in Africa. I'm not a great fan of Africa from that point of view. Although Rwanda looks nice. Oh, hello, Teresa. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Right. Hurricanes. So there's apparently a Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic heading towards the Caribbean. And somebody tweeted that I told you this would happen like 10 years ago. And if you'd listened to me then, we could have stopped this. And I'm thinking, how? How have you got a plan to stop hurricanes? Because to be fair, we've not had many hurricanes in the last few years. In fact, I would probably go as far as the last decade. We've seen a big drop off in hurricanes. So we haven't had a lot of hurricanes. And they kind of come in bunches as well. So, maybe we're going to have some hurricanes this year. It's not that unusual. But you know what it is, don't you? Yeah, yeah. You know what it is. Right, a couple of things on the entertainment, or one thing in the entertainment industry. The Acolyte apparently has been cancelled. There won't be a season two. Amandala, that's a strange name for a woke actress, isn't it? Amandala, oh, I've forgotten her surname. The one that made that stupid song, looking at the journalists, not for not calling out the bad viewing public who didn't want to watch her show. She's apparently had a nervous breakdown and gone into hiding. So there you go. Press don't forget to press the like button. You're quite right, Emma. So the Acolytes, it's done it for Disney. It's really pulled out all stops. Bob Iger's still kind of lying about things, so we'll see what happens there. They really need to fix themselves though, because they're doing a Netflix except worse. And Netflix have pulled themselves back from the brink a little bit. Speaking of Netflix, let's go to Formula One and more Red Bull shenanigans. So over the weekend, there was a spat on track between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, which is one of these things. They had a coming together because Max, when he gets out in front, has this "no one shall pass me at all and any costs." He's like a little Dutch SNP guy, freedom at all costs. Nobody shall pass me. So he was slow. He was slow in the closing part of the race, and Lando put in a couple of good challenges, overshot once, all that kind of thing. So it was looking like it was going to be an exciting end to the race. And Lando come up the outside of him, and he just forced him into. Well, he went to force him off the track and just ran into him basically. So they both ended up with punctures. So now remember, these guys are still doing like 120 mile an hour on three wheels now, because one of the back tires is gone on both their cars. But Lando's tire was more held together than the Red Bull at this point, and was going faster. He obviously still had some air in it. So he went to go past. Verstappen, and Verstappen swerves across the track and forces him into the grass because he didn't want him to get back to the pits before him. Because then Lando would be out in front of him. Now remember this: these guys have punctured their cars. They're not winning this race anymore. They'll be lucky if they come fifth or sixth or whatever. In fact, Verstappen did come fifth. So that all ensued and kicked off, and Lando's car was too badly damaged by the time he got back to the garage that he had to withdraw. And Verstappen got a 10-second penalty for causing a collision. That's not good enough, because nobody's mentioned the fact that he tried to force him off the track after they'd collided. Nobody's mentioned that at all. It's just not good enough. And Andrea Stella, the team boss at McLaren, said, look, the whole world was watching. The whole world knows, or the whole viewing population knows who was at fault. And he said, the problem is this was never dealt with properly back in 2021. And if you don't deal with things properly, they come back to bite you. And he's right. He's 100% right. That's exactly what's happened. Max, being a petulant school kid, has gone back to his old ways and caused a collision because he just cannot bear to be overtaken. And some of that may go back to his father, who used to treat him with complete and utter disdain if he lost a race. In fact, he did lose a race once in a karting incident where he overshot the corner and spun the kart and didn't win that race. And on the way back home, they stopped at a garage for fuel. Max went in to get a sweetie, I think. And Josh drove off and left him in the garage. 14-year-old, left in the garage. Had to phone his mum to come and get him. because Joss wasn't coming back for him. That's nice dad, you know. Now, this guy has his own anger issues, does Jos Verstappen, and as I call him, you may have heard this, as I call him, the angry Dutchman, because at one point he was set to go to jail after having a fist fight with another guy, uh, and fracturing his skull, I believe. And the only reason he avoided jail was because he paid the victim off. And in Belgium, if you pay the victim off, and the victim accepts a payment, um, you don't get the penalty applied. So, and there was another one where he allegedly ran his girlfriend over, his ex-girlfriend. Well, she was after that. So he ran her over, but she dropped all charges. Probably because she thought, oh, this crazy nutter's going to come back out of jail and get me. So if you remember back to earlier on in the year when the Horn Dog incident, the Horn Dog files, when all the texts were released about Christian flirtatiously texting a member of the Red Bull admin team, basically, and apparently Joss kind of liked this girl as well. So I think there might have been a bit of rivalry between the two guys at this point, and they were I think they tolerated each other up till this point. But then I believe what's happened is, and I can't substantiate it, but I think it might be what you would call common knowledge, that Jos Verstappen may well have been the person that leaked those texts, because all those texts and pictures were sent to all the Formula One team bosses, all 21 of them, plus the FIA, plus Stefano Domenicali and all that. So everybody got them, and I think it might well have been Mister V that did it, allegedly. So now Joss was set to drive his son. They do a parade lap before the Grand Prix starts, and he was set to drive him round the track in Austria. And apparently, Christian said, or the word was that Christian didn't want him to drive the car because he's not a Red Bull employee, which is true. So, and it wouldn't have been the Formula One car; it would have just been another car, but it would have been filmed as well, no doubt by Netflix. So, one, Christian didn't want him driving Max, who's a Red Bull employee, i.e., the driver, in an official event, and two, didn't want it filmed either. So there was some consternation there, and eventually Jos Verstappen, threw his toys out the pram and says, "Okay, I'm not going to do it." Now he said he would have been allowed to do it if he'd pushed it, but he decided he wasn't going to do it. So more shenanigans going on in Red Bull. I can't see the Dutch team staying there unless Max Verstappen gets a grip and says, "Don't come to the races anymore. You're just a disruptive influence," because he pretty much is. Having said that, Max isn't all sweetness and light either, because he had a previous conviction for running a competitor right off the track, because Max does a lot of sim racing and they take this seriously, these guys. So the there was an incident in a sim race, and Max's car gets spun round by this guy. So he cut the next corner, he cuts right across the corner and rams the guy right off the track. So he got disqualified for that. Now, if they're taking it that seriously, why behave like that in an actual accredited race? You know, they ran a championship and everything. Why behave like that? And then he did it. He did it in real life, didn't he? Because he nearly rammed Lando off the track, and that's why I think Max Verstappen should get a race ban. I think he should have a race ban because he needs his wrist slapped in a big way to bring him back down to earth. It's not big, it's not clever, and it's not behaviour becoming of a world champion. So it's the British Grand Prix this weekend. So we'll see what happens now, because obviously the British Grand Prix were struggling to sell tickets, and no wonder. No wonder you ask, because a 3-day ticket for the grandstand for the British Grand Prix was £1,000. Now, if you checked Austria, where they've just been, a 3-day ticket for the grandstand there was 500 quid, so half the price. Still an awful lot of money, but £1,000 to visit the British Grand Prix for 3 days. That's outrageous. So they had quite a few unsold tickets. But all this drama in Austria has bumped the ticket sales up dramatically for the British Grand Prix, and it looks like it's going to be a sellout. Who the hell can afford to pay £1,000 to go and watch a motor race? It's outrageous. It's just completely outrageous. Oh. Anyway, that's my take on the news. Have we got anything else? Anything else that's happening in the world? It's not warm here. It's 14 degrees centigrade. 14 degrees centigrade. It's the beginning of July and it's 14 degrees centigrade. That's not good. That's not good. What's happening in the Twitterverse? Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. It's just all nonsense, isn't it? Yeah. I don't think there's anything more to add. I think England scraped through the Euros, I believe. I saw that. So we've got to suffer them in another game at least. The Banksy Glastonbury thing, I talked about that. When did I talk about that? Sunday? Sunday or yeah, I talked about it anyway. But you know, the whole Glastonbury thing is so ironic. It's unbelievable, because how can all those people at a music festival not even consider what kicked all that situation off at a music festival? The whole thing's ridiculous. It's just people they're just being deliberately stupid, I think. And you know, I still can't get my head round people who let's say are, well, you can, I think you can say gay. Let's say gays for Palestine. You know, I mean, come on, come on, just think about it. Oh, I've got a picture actually to show you, because apparently there's talk that this guy would be is an outside chance to replace Biden and running for president. So it would be quite handy though, wouldn't it? Because there's two of them. So the one on the right looking at them is Scott Kelly, and the one on the left has his astronaut identical twin brother, Mark, who's a retired astronaut. Now, the good thing is, Mark sports a moustache, but obviously, if they became president, they could take it in turns. You wouldn't need an actual clone because you've got one already. It's a win-win situation. You could just say, M. Kelly and R. Kelly. No, you can't, because his name was Scott. But anyway, that would be funny. Imagine if those two were the president. Then you could say they, them, because there is two of them. Did you see the woman that get kicked off the plane for misuse of pronouns to an oh, I was going to say air hostess there. That would have put me back in time, wouldn't it? I'd have been kicked off the plane if I'd said that. Hold on there, doll. Keep your air hostess in check. But yeah, that would be quite funny. So anyway, she get kicked off a plane by United because she mispronounced an air cabin crew. Let's just say cabin crew. Let's make it easier on ourselves. So yeah, there we go. There we bloody go. What can you say, people? What can you say? So remember, we're on at 10 on Thursday, all the way through till we fall apart, or the stream gets pulled, or they stop the count. So we'll see what happens. I don't like that. If they stop the count, you're going to go. Right. But so we'll see from we'll see what happens then, and Ed and I will be on for a short burrow on Thursday just before it. I think I'll be back tomorrow night as well, just to give you an update, because it's all ramping up. All this election shenanigans. I mean, we might even be able to, if we can live stream, we might be able to live stream Mr. Farage live from Clacton Pier tomorrow night at 6 p.m. and see what he's saying. So that would be quite interesting. Yeah, because he is let's face it, he's made this election, because if it had just been Dumb and Dumber and the Rat, it would have been no contest, there'd been no fun. But him stepping in has really spiced things up, because let's face it, nobody liked Richard Tice. He wasn't gonna do anything and bring us in any what would you call it? Any fun or diversity. Right, where are we? How much are the tickets for Glastonbury? Oh, I think they're very expensive as well, I believe. And I mean, I think Glastonbury's gone all corporate, isn't it? Because it's not what it used to be. It's all and there was a VIP section with Matt Smith in it and stuff like that. Everything's about money these days, isn't it? Nobody really wants to get down and dirty anymore. This is what happens. Everything gets more and more corporate. But we'll see what happens on Thursday. Can only see it going badly, regardless of who wins. I don't know why I'm laughing. Can things actually get worse though? That's the thing. I mean, I've already lost 2 businesses, my house, my child's education, all my cars and motorbikes and stuff. I'm in debt to, it must be 6 figures. So, really, can it get any worse for me personally? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Right, there we go. Thank you very much for attending. It's been great for me. I'm going to... What do you want? I'll tell you what. Remember, like, share, subscribe, because that costs you nothing, and I know how tight you guys are. And, hey, probably with good reason. But if you have got any spare change, you can throw them this way through either kofi.com/Chasing Descent, paypal.me/Chasing Descent, or join the channel from as little as £99 a month. Or give us a super chat or a super thanks if you're watching after the event. All of that, very, very much appreciated. But no pressure, no pressure. We're here to entertain you. Do you want my latest videos, which I played last night on the Monday Mock, the Bike Wankers, or do you want the regular outro? I'll give you 10 seconds to decide. First one that calls it gets it. Oh, nope. Nope. Come on. What we doing? You want the what? The midgets? I don't have midgets. Oh, the midgets. Oh, you want all in? You want all in then? Yeah. Yeah, bike. Teresa says suitable for ironing. I don't understand what that means. Right, Frankie said, yeah, okay. Frankie was first, so you get what you want. Just on this occasion. So have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow night. As always, it's been great for you.
to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get